8:19 at KISS FM. Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars, that is Uptown Funk. It's Big Poppa and Banna. We're looking at snow showers today, high 21. Right now, we're at 9 on the Lennox Jewelers hotline. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jerry Springer. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Please don't get up. Please, thank you.
Listen,
thanks for having me.
Jerry, the heating unit went in the studio. So, like, it's a little frigid in here. So, if we're standing, it's because we're trying to keep warm.
Exactly.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, my gosh. Being in Syracuse.
Right? Oh, my goodness. So, where are we catching you this morning?
Actually, I'm not that far away. I mean, I'm in Connecticut and Stamford. We're taping, the Jerry Springer Show today. So, we tape our shows on Mondays and Tuesdays in Stamford, which is right outside New York City. And we do 3 shows on Mondays and 2 on Tuesdays, and that's how we fill the week.
So do you, how many episodes do you guys do a year at this point? Because it seems like you guys have been out forever.
And we're in our 24th year. So if you figure that out, that's over 4,600 shows.
Wow.
Did you say you were on, Jerry, I'm sorry, did you, more than 24 years on the air?
Yeah.
Wow.
24th year. Yeah, we're starting to have the children of our original guests on, which is wrong because these people were told not to procreate.
That is fantastic.
This is we're probably the only show that has a farm. We grow our own guests.
We're talking to Jerry Springer on the Lennox Jewelers hotline. You can follow him on Twitter at Jerry Springer. And I want to talk about the new show, but I always wonder, at this point, are you just callous to anything? Does anything ever shock you anymore? Because for crying out loud, man.
Yeah, we've pretty much seen it all. But, the honest answer has to be, I don't think you can be a grown-up in today's world and really be shocked by anything anymore. Now, you may be surprised it happens to someone you know. That could be the surprise. But there's no situation I could describe, and you could honestly say, I never knew something like that existed, or I never knew there were people that did that. All you have to do is open any newspaper in America on any day, and by the time you get to page 3, I've got 20 shows. So it's all out there, and, it's just, what was unique about our show is that it's the first time it had really been on television when the show started in the 90s. Now, of course, it's much more common. We have Facebook and Twitter and, Instagram, so people are revealing everything about their personal lives anyway. But when our show first started 24 years ago, that was kind of new.
Absolutely. We're talking to Jerry Springer on the Lennox Jewelers hotline. Talk to me about this new show, Baggage on the Road. It's a game show on the Game Show Network, right?
That's right, and it's on, Wednesday nights at 9. I did the show. Baggage is a traditional dating game show with a twist. What I mean by traditional dating game show, it's a show where it's a fun show. You get a guy who has to choose among 3 beautiful women which one he wants to go out with. But during the course of the show, each of the women has to reveal 3 items of their personal baggage, which would make you think twice about going out with them. And normally we find out about our significant other's baggage, maybe 6 weeks into a relationship.
Sure.
Or 6 years into a relationship, for all I know. But here, you know ahead of time. So he's choosing among the 3, and as I said, they start revealing their baggage, and he starts eliminating.
And we're not talking like small baggage. We're talking like deal breakers kind of baggage, right?
It's both. It starts out with your small bag, which isn't very big, nothing major. Then it goes to medium size, and then finally the big baggage. And finally, he narrows it down to the one person. And she's all excited. They're hugging, jumping up and down. The audience is cheering. But then before the show ends, she gets to see what's in his big bag. And sometimes he opens his bag and she'll say, oh my gosh. And then she'll say, well, I'm flattered that you chose me, but you have too much baggage. She slams it shut, walks off the stage.
Wow.
I need to watch this.
Right down on the show.
Tomorrow night on Game Show Network, 9 o'clock, Baggage on the Road. It's Jerry Springer on the Lennox Jewelers hotline. I am... Listen, from broadcaster to broadcaster, I am jealous as hell of you because if this radio gig ends,
need a loan, give me a call.
A loan? I want a job, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if I don't do what I do right now for a living, and I absolutely love it, it's what I've wanted to do for a living, since I was a little child. But being able to go and host things and be, you host game shows, pageants, variety shows, and this, that, and the other. There is a special, set of traits, a special skill set for hosting these kinds of things, right?
Maybe, and I'm not trying to be seriously modest here or anything. I'm just honestly saying, I have no idea. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I don't have any talent. I think I'm a nice guy, and I think I'm reasonably bright, but I don't have any talent. No one would have picked me out of high school or college or law school and said, this guy's going to be in show business. So I am totally a fish out of water in terms of the business that I was lucky enough to be successful in. But I think anyone could do what I do. What do? I said, you did what? Come on out. We'll be right back. You can do those three things. You're a talk show host. So I don't know. I'm lucky and thank God for that, and I'm appreciative. But there's, go out, host the show. You do it. Look, you guys are obviously successful with what you're doing, so it's a matter of someone saying, Big Poppa, come on down.
You know what's funny, Jerry? It's like one of those things where, you see the Ryan Seacrest of the world, and he is, mornings in L.A.
Yeah.
And because he did the morning show in L.A., same thing with Carson Daly, a DJ in L.A., and, people, movers and shakers heard them and gave them the opportunity. And because I chose to stay here with my family, I'm not getting those opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
not saying that I'm Seacrest or anything. I'm just, I'd like the phone call,
Yeah, well, that is true. And, I never even applied for a job. I was mayor of Cincinnati.
You bastard.
My background is law and politics. And I was just the mayor, and then when my terms were up, NBC offered me the job to anchor their newscast in Cincinnati and I did that for 10 years, the 5:36 and 11 o'clock news. And the company that owned the TV stations where I did the news also owned talk shows. They owned Phil Donahue, Sally Jessy Raphael, etc. And Phil was getting near retirement. So one day the CEO takes me to lunch and says, Phil's getting close to retirement. We're going to start a new talk show. You're the host. So I was assigned to it. It's not even anything I ever auditioned for. There were no audition tapes, nothing.
It was like, okay, he's about to retire. You're going to do it.
I know.
Yeah, and I guess they had meetings on their own or maybe did focus groups. I have no idea what they did. But they assigned me to do this show. The first contract I signed was for 6 weeks, so there was no expectation, and I wasn't even excited about it. I wanted, I was enjoying doing the news, and that's what was my main job.
Sure.
Like a side thing. And then, years later it took off and that kind of stuff. So.
Did you think it was going to become like what it is now when you first started?
It started political,
no.
right?
When it started, as I said, it was a side job, and it was a relatively serious talk show. We had... it was kind of political. We had people like Oliver North, Jesse Jackson. This is back in 90, the early 90s, 91 and on. And so we were doing the issues of the day, that kind of thing. It didn't go crazy until about the third or fourth year in. And it went crazy. It's a perfect example of unintended consequences. I never made a decision to make this show crazy. The only decision I ever made regarding the show was I thought it should go young. And there were 20 talk shows around at the time.
Right.
And they were always trying to compete with Oprah and go after the demographic, which at that time was referred to as middle-aged housewives. So all the shows were trying to be like Oprah. Then along came Ricki Lake, and she really was hers was the first talk show to go after young people, the kids. And when I say kids, I mean high school and college age. And I just thought as a business model, why are we trying to be 1 out of 20 shows going after Oprah? Let's just be 1 out of 2 and go after Ricky's audience. So from the very next day, we said from now on, we can only have young people on stage, young people in the audience, young subject matter. Well, as you know, young people are much wilder and more open about their lives.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah, so they started to go crazy, not every day, but once in a while. And then when Universal bought us, they said from now on, you're only allowed to do crazy. So if you call us with a warm, uplifting story, we're not allowed to run it. We have to send it to another show, and we're given a list of the shows we send it to.
Yeah, you give it to Wilkos.
Yeah, Wilkos or Maury or Dr. Phil, whatever the subject is, we recommend they go there. But we're only allowed to do things that are dysfunctional because that's what the show's about.
Love it. Jerry Springer, Baggage on the Road, Game Show Network tomorrow. He's on the Lennon Jewelers Hotline. Before you go, and we appreciate the time, this is the quick six questions, 60 seconds. Let's everyone get to know a little bit more about you, all right?
Okay.
All right, here we go. 2 shows on your DVR right now.
2 shows. Well, I have no shows on my DVR. I still have to go to the television set and physically turn the station. I don't even have a remote. No, like my 2 shows I would say are House of Cards and Newsroom.
Okay, you're out at a bar. What is your drink of choice?
Diet Coke. I don't drink.
Oh.
You're on a road trip.
Boring. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You're on a road trip. You stop at the convenience store. What are your go-to snacks?
What are my go-to snacks?
Yeah, like when you stop at the convenience store.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I got you. I'd say Nestle's Crunch.
Okay. Favorite toy as an adult?
Favorite toy as an adult? I guess my plane.
Did you say your plane?
Yeah, that's my favorite toy.
What kind of plane is it, Jerry? I've never had a plane.
Oh, you're such a loser.
Fine. Okay. What was your favorite toy as a child?
As a child, my favorite toy. Oh,
if you say you're playing, I'm just hanging up. That's it.
Dad gave each of the kids a plane. No, my favorite. Well, I guess it was. There was this Red Barber baseball game where you rolled the dice and then you moved the pieces, and it was like a baseball board game. That, and when I was much younger, or even younger than that, I loved playing Cowboys. So.
Nice. Jerry Springer on the Lennon Jewelers Hotline. You can follow him on Twitter at Jerry Springer. Of course, the Jerry Springer Show. And love to come out and see your tapings. I think that would be fun as hell.
I wish you would. Absolutely. Let us know anytime you want to come. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. Well, I'll hit you up on Twitter. And make sure everyone check out Baggage on Game Show Network tomorrow. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Jerry Springer, everybody. We're going to break him back. Big Poppa Banna on Kiss FM. He was awesome.
Yes, he was.
Really good.